Have you ever thought about mixing aphrodisiacs with THC?
Mm-hmm.
You have. Whenever I'm thinking about getting in the mood, sometimes you need a little bit of extra help. Now, I've never tried it with THC up until recently. There's a company called Via Hemp Co., and they have so many different products. They are a leader in the industry, and they have a line of gummies, and they have all different types of gummies with different potencies. They do different things to you. Like some of them are good for sleep. Some of them are good for relaxation, sore muscles. Some of them are good with sexy times because they're mixed with aphrodisiacs. So,
Busting it open.
Now, have you tried yours yet?
Girl, that was actually the first one that I tried.
Really?
And yes. And as soon as I got the box, I was like, oh my gosh, first of all, there's so many different flavors. High love. I instantly was like, I know this gonna make me bust it open for my man. So I was reading the back of the package, and I love how it tells you exactly how much you're getting in the one gummy that you take. It tells you what to expect. Love that. As soon as I took it, I was like, okay, I don't feel anything yet. On the bottle, it says wait an hour.
Exactly. Don't take more.
Right. I love how they're like, okay, people don't listen. We know y'all lazy nowadays.
Yeah.
So an hour hit, I ended up falling asleep. Me and Babe, me being Babe, I woke up and woke Babe up. And I was like, I need something real quick from you. I was high on love, babe. I was high on love and climbed on top and was on top.
That's funny that happened to you like that, because that's pretty much what happened with me. I took it at night, and I shouldn't have taken it when I was about to fall asleep, because I did take a little cat nap while I was waiting for it to kick in for an hour. But I woke up and I was like, just put it inside and move it around a little bit. I mean,
just put it in my gummy, baby.
Yes, and they taste really good. So different ones will have different flavors. And then if you go to the website when you're ordering, it'll show you even on a meter, because sometimes I don't really know like how many milligrams. It'll let you know if it's CBD, if it's CBN, if it's Delta, whatever. All of the information is there. It's very clear. They have so many things. And if you're ordering from their website, they ship to all 50 states discreetly. And that's really important too, because sometimes, you find a product that you love and it doesn't ship to you. So you won't have that problem as long as you're in the US.
Also, you guys, all products are third-party lab tested, gluten-free, vegan, and non-GMO for all you health freaks out there. If you are interested in trying some of these amazing gummies, head on over to viahemp.com and use code CockTales. That's viahemp.com, code CockTales.
Check the link in the description box. It's VIIA hemp.com and use code CockTales.
Yeah, check 1 2, check 1 2. Is this mic on? Is this mic on? Hey, listen, man. It's the one and only trendsetter DJ Sense, and you're listening to CockTales. Dirty discussions with Kiki and Medinah Monroe. Yeah.
Today's cocktail is called the Sexy Sangria. The ingredients you need for the Sexy Sangria is 2 ounces of tequila, 1 ounce of triple sec, 1 ounce of lime juice, 2 ounces of red wine. And to make a Sexy Sangria, you're gonna add the tequila, the triple sec, the lime juice into a cocktail shaker filled with ice. Shake for 5 to 10 seconds. Pour from the shaker into the glass filled with ice and top with the red wine and garnish with mixed berries and enjoy. This cocktail is brought to you by Your Tipsy Homegirl. Make sure you guys follow her at Your Tipsy Homegirl on Instagram and on TikTok. I will say, this is probably one of the top 3 of my favorite drinks that Jessica has made for us.
Yeah, I think my favorite was the lime one with the coconut stuff in there. That was really good. But this is really good too. I love a tequila-based drink. I just love it. Anyway, welcome back to CockTales Dirty Discussions, you guys.
Hey, y'all.
We have a bunch of reminders. We'll save them for the end of the show. Make sure you check the description box to keep up with everything that we have going on. And remember that we are going on tour starting September 29th. But this week, we have a special guest. Let us welcome Miss Chanel.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, girl.
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you, y'all. This is funny. We got to share this story.
Okay.
How I met Chanel was when we hosted Traffic
You remember?
The
And I got
brunch.
y'all
And
shots?
somebody kept sending
Yeah.
us over shots. And
Yes.
I even think she tried to send over a bottle. Chanel
Yeah.
always exudes rich bitch behavior, and
Yeah.
she backs it up. And we were like, "What? Who is sending this?
Who
the
is
nigga?"
sending this?
It
Yeah,
was
it was
Chanel.
her.
She listened to the show. She became a personal friend of mine, and I'm so happy to have you on the show.
I'm so excited.
Normally, we play a game with our guests. We play our game. I'm curious to know.
But she's got a story to tell.
And we ready to hear it. When she told me she was ready to tell her story, I said, I appreciate you for wanting to share it first on CockTales Dirty Discussions, because we talk about dating, relationships, and sex, and marriage and divorce falls under that umbrella. And Chanel recently went through a divorce, but the story behind the divorce was, to me, as a friend, like I wanted to just punch multiple people. But watching her go through this with so much grace and strength and still keep your business running, still raise your child, and go through everything else that you've gone through in this year alone, it has been incredible to watch you handle this and come out on top. And I wanted to make sure that I said that, because a lot of women that listen to this show, they go through things like you're going through. We haven't been through that. We've been through some fuckboy shit, but you've been through some. Fuck that nigga and punched him in his ear and cut his feet off.
Yeah.
Don't have me on this podcast crying.
We
with
won't.
you, okay?
Don't cry. But if you do, we're going to blame the tequila
Right.
and not anything else. But before we hear your story and what you went through and where you at now, we're going to move on to Weird Sex really quick. It's a short story, and then we're going to get in your business.
You said a man is not a necessity, a man is a luxury.
Like dessert. Yeah. Man is absolutely not necessity.
Did you mean that to sound mean and bitter?
Oh, not at all. I adore dessert. I love men. I think men are the coolest. But you don't really need them to live.
Okay.
Okay, you guys. So this week's Weird Sex story is about somebody who was perpetrating. He was pretending to be an ICE agent. So,
An ICE agent?
like
that?
immigration, customs enforcement.
Got you. Okay.
So, this story happened in PG County, Maryland, which is outside of Washington, D.C. So, 26-year-old Victor Antonio Reed's trifling ass was identified on Tuesday by the police department. He and their sexual assault unit. Basically, what he did was he approached this Hispanic woman out there with a badge, a fake badge at that, and he claimed that he was an ICE agent. So, you know, a lot of times, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this in movies or TV or whatever, but when they see, it'll literally say ICE on their back, just like FBI, but it's ICE. And when you're in a community where a lot of people may not be official citizens, then it scares them, and
That's
they pressure
sad. That's
people,
mean.
and they take advantage of people to try and let them know, like, oh, well, if you do this for me, then you won't get deported. We won't send you away from your family. We won't separate you from your kids. So anyway, he approaches this woman, tells her he's with ICE, and he told the lady to sit inside her car or sit inside his car or face deportation. The woman told the police that she was absolutely terrified and pled with him not to deport her, even offering him money. So he reportedly took $100 from her and then said she couldn't leave until she sucked his dick. The victim initially refused his request, but was threatened again with deportation and was shown a gun that was in the back seat of the vehicle. After complying, the woman said he continued to assault her before finally letting her go. She contacted the police immediately, and I know she felt like conflicted with this because it's like, you obviously ain't got your paperwork.
She was like, I'm not going back.
Yeah,
wherever I
but she
came
needs
from.
to let somebody know what happened. So it's like, what do I do? Anyway, she contacted the police, who immediately were able to track down the suspect using a surveillance video from the shopping center that they were at and photos of his vehicle. He was arrested at a traffic stop 2 days later, and he faces several charges, including first and second degree rape, impersonating a law enforcement officer, armed robbery, and theft. Because remember, he stole her money too.
Why did he need his dick sucked that bad? Like, my nigga, what happened? Why you this horny?
Sometimes when people are rapists, it's not even about needing it that bad. They just want to have a sense of power, and it's disgusting. Anyway, sorry that happened to that lady, But we're going to keep an eye out on other little Mr. Reeds out here perpetrating. Let me see your badge, nigga. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I remember one time the police had the lights on to pull me over, and I went all the way home. And he was like, ma'am, I put my hazards on, and I drove slow. So he knew I wasn't trying to get away.
Medinah.
Where were you?
I was on the highway, and I was
Here,
like, well,
though?
it's dark. It was in Atlanta. It was dark, and I didn't
How
feel safe.
far was that drive?
It was a
home?
good, we still had 7 more minutes to go. And I drove, and I pulled out. He was like, man, why did you keep driving? I said, because I
I'm
didn't feel
surprised
safe,
you weren't
sir.
on the news.
I wasn't speeding away. I put my hazards on. And I was letting him. I'm like, well, I need to feel safe where I'm pulling over. Because what if you stole a police car? What if you trying to get your dick sucked?
Could
Girl,
be.
I
You
ain't
never
gonna do
know.
it. So
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for sending in that weird sex story. I appreciate it. If you have more weird sex stories that you would like to share, make sure you email them to us, weirdsex@cocktailspod.com. Okay, now back to you, Mr. Chanel.
Oh my gosh, back
Okay.
to me.
So you went through a divorce, and I know that's the main thing, but I want to go back. How long were you married, and how did you meet your husband?
Oh, how long was I married? I got married September 14th of 2019. So what is
Okay.
that? 3 years, maybe?
Yeah,
Something
almost
like that.
4. Yeah.
Something like that.
And so how did you meet him?
So I met him through my godparents. He trades the foreign exchange market, and I was trying to learn at the time, and my godmother was learning, and she was like, this guy, he's doing so well, he's making all this money.
I know she feels so bad. I know she feels terrible.
And I was like, okay, so I went to a little trading thing. And I guess after that, he was asking my godmom about me. Now, mind you, he's 10 years older than me. So it's not anybody I was like, oh my gosh, I want to date him. It wasn't like that. I met him in person the first time, and I will never forget. I got in my car that night, and God was like, that's going to be your husband. And I remember I called my best friend and was like, God said this man, and I can't even understand what he's saying because he's really country.
I thought you were talking about God. I was like, well, that makes sense.
No, I learned, how to understand him speak, but he was so country. I was just like, I told my best friend, I was like, this man, God told me that this man I can't even understand is going to be my husband, but okay.
Now that you're divorced, do you feel like that was the devil?
I feel like it was God,
God,
at
why you
that
play
moment,
me?
but I feel like I didn't recheck back in. I went with what I was heard, what was told to me, and I was just like, oh, okay. And whatever I could do to make that come true, I was just like, okay, I'm going with it. But I think that when God tells you something, you should always check back in, get confirmations. I didn't do that. So I blame me.
We're going to jump to the why you got a divorce part.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because there's so much you can share, but I feel like we've had so many women send in emails about cheating, about infidelity, or even about them wanting to cheat, or just phases that people go through in marriage. And I'm wondering if you guys ever went through any of them. So I do kind of want you to tell our audience what you guys have a child together. I'm saying it confused because I would just want them to.
Yes, I have a 2-year-old son. He's amazing.
Okay.
Aww.
And so I want you to share your story of how you caught your husband cheating on you, which led to divorce. So start from the day.
Okay, so the day was January 30th.
This year?
Last year, 2020. We're in 2022. 2022. So ironically, we had a Valentine's photo shoot that day because I do a lot of content with real estate, and I was going to release all the love photos, oh, I'm so in love with my husband, whatever. So we did that photo shoot. We did the photo shoot. It had the stylist, matching outfits, everything. It was a vibe. Then afterwards, I wanted to go out to eat. I was like, let's go out to eat. He was like, no, I got to get back to Alabama. I got to take the girls back. So I have bonus daughters that live in Alabama.
Okay.
And we own commercial cleaning companies in Alabama as well. So, and he's from Alabama. So he was like, I'm going to take the girls down there or whatever, and I might stay. I'm gonna go check our 911 centers, and I might stay there that night, and I'll be back in the morning. I was like, cool, no problem. So we didn't go out to eat. We went back to the house. He got the girls. That was probably about 3:00. And I'm tracking the time because the time matters. Okay. So it's probably about.
If anybody understands time matters, it's Kiki.
It's time matters. So it's like 3 o'clock. He goes to take the girls. It's 7, 8 o'clock. I'm like
3 p.m.
3 p.m. It's 7, 8 o'clock. I'm like, dang, I ain't heard from him. So I call him a couple times. No answer.
Was anything ringing a bell, or were you just like...
No, I was just
Were
like...
you worried like something happened
I
bad?
was concerned. But I was just like, okay, did he drop off the girls? Maybe he's in the 911 center, you know, that we don't really get service in. So I'm like, all right, cool. So then it rolls around to about 9 o'clock. I'm giving our son a bath. And I'm like, no, he talks to his son every day. Like, no, I got to FaceTime him, say goodnight, call at 9 o'clock on the FaceTime. No answer.
This is how my true crime shows start off, and this is when you know something's wrong.
But were you like, something's wrong at this point, or were you like...
No, I was just like, this is really weird, and I started sending a lot of texts like, hey, are you okay? Da, da, da. No response. No green text either, because I thought maybe his phone might have died, but no green text either. So I'm like, all right. My mom's at the house too, because she was like helping me with Cam or whatever, and it rolls around to like 11 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it one more time. And I FaceTime him again to show him Cam asleep. Yeah, no answer.
And you're still not mad at this point?
I'm irritated, but I'm not like angry. I'm just like, okay, something must be going on. This is abnormal. Because it was. Like, it was abnormal, whatever. So I fall asleep. And, you know, I woke up. I woke up at 1:30 a.m. And I'm like, dang,
something is not right.
Ain't no missed calls, ain't no text backs. Like, what's going on? So I actually went downstairs to our computer and checked our work email for our commercial cleaning companies. And lo and behold, I saw a hotel receipt for Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and
not even that far out. He didn't even go deep into the trenches of Alabama.
I'm like, okay, your mom lives about 10 minutes from this house. I mean, from this hotel, and your sister lives about 8. So I'm trying to figure out, like,
maybe something happened. You had to go.
You would have a hotel. So I immediately, at 1:30 in the morning, I woke my mother up. I made up a lie. I was like, you know, lock the keys in the commercial cleaning company, and I have to go give him our spare. And she was like, at 1:30 in the morning? I was like, yeah, Mom, it's okay. Like,
Mama knew.
I didn't want her to worry. So I took that hotel receipt and I proceed to drive 3.5 hours at 1:30 in the morning. I don't call anybody. I don't tell anybody. I don't tell nobody what I'm doing.
That was smart, just in case you did something super crazy.
Just in case I looked a little crazy.
I was thinking
well, I'm thinking about how true crime stories go.
Like, just in case you committed a crime, nobody knows.
Yep, you don't have no accomplices. Everybody cool.
Want anybody to know what was going on. So the whole time I'm like praying. That's a long time, 3.5 hours, right? And about maybe 40 minutes before I get there, lo and behold, I get a text that says like, oh, babe, my phone was dead. I was at the...
All fucking day?
Ain't no motherfucking way.
Because a lot of times...
Now I gotta stop at a Walmart and get a fucking baseball bat because you think you playing. And I got a game to play.
Not only is cheating disrespectful, it's disrespectful as fuck to play with my... What? My intelligence?
Your wife.
We all got phones and we all know what cheating ass niggas be doing.
The text was not green.
You could have gave me a better lie. Like, you didn't even hit me with no creativity.
You could have even thrown in, I got in a car accident.
It was crazy. So...
Did you respond to the text?
Yes. I was like, okay, well, call me. Because at this point, I'm like...
Well, your phone ain't dead no more.
I'm 40 minutes away, but your phone is working now, so call me.
He thought she was asleep.
He did not call me.
He thought she was
asleep.
So
I called him literally, when I tell you 52 times, I am not exaggerating.
I've called somebody 78 times before.
52 times I called, no answer.
If I'm not getting through, ain't nobody getting through. So then
God was like, Chanel, calm down. And I was like, all right. So I say calm, and God was like, call the hotel.
Does God have an accent?
I mean, in my head, he might, but you know, he just be talking to me. And I'm like, all right, when he talk, I'm listening. Okay. So he said, call the hotel. I ain't never called Hilton Honors to try to add myself to no reservation. But this reservation I did. I lied, guys. I lied.
What was the lie?
I said, I have my baby in the car. And he's only 10 months. And, you know, my husband, he's stuck at the building and has no service. And it's about 4 o'clock in the morning and I need to make sure that my baby gets in this bed. I was like, I do not want him to wake up, whatever. And I was like, I'm his wife. Gave him all the information. They listened to me and I said, can you please add me to the reservation? They asked me, did I have the confirmation number? Y'all know I had already found it at the house.
You got the email.
Gave them the confirmation number. They added my name.
When you come across people in companies like that do not follow the rules, I'm always like, it's always like, thank you because you don't follow the rules. But then I'm like, I see how true crime stuff happens. And you're like, how did y'all get in? One time I got the room number to somebody staying in a hotel. I want to know if they were staying there. And the person, you're not supposed to do that. And they gave me the room number and I went up to, they weren't supposed to do that.
They
and
weren't.
I just, Hilton Honors, y'all better sponsor an episode or we're telling on y'all.
So the lady was like, you're his wife? And I was like, yeah. So I thought she was in on the tea. She knew.
The Hilton Honors lady?
The Hilton Honors lady was like, you're his wife. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, when you
probably
show
like,
up.
what kind of freaky shit they
She
doing?
was
Because
like-
there's another bitch on this reservation.
She was like, when you show up, you can show that y'all have the same last name. And I'm like, yeah. So I proceeded to keep
Oh, they done
driving.
been through this before. Tuscaloosa said, we
I was giving girl power. We ride together.
Earl Jones was just here a minute ago and his wife pulled up.
And fuck him because my husband just was cheating last week and I wish the bitch at that front desk would have been on my side. I got you, sis. It ain't no thing.
So
213.
got to the hotel. And I get to the hotel, her systems are down.
Were you scared? When I do stuff like this, I be shaking.
So I was not scared until I pulled up to the hotel and I seen his car. So at this
Then it got
point,
real.
It's real.
It was real. It was either you're in there alone and I'm gonna have to explain why the heck I'm in Alabama, or I'm gonna catch you with a bitch and I don't know how I'm gonna react.
Yeah.
Right?
Were you in your pajamas?
No.
Okay,
I
you
was
got
in
dressed.
some leggings and a sweatshirt, I think.
Okay, I just want to know.
No, I wasn't in my pajamas.
What would you
But I
ride
did
out
have on
in?
my
Because I
leggings.
think I would still do a light beat just because I want this bitch to know I'm not the one to play with and don't think that you look better than me.
I didn't have time to put on no makeup.
Oh, it
My
was
mindset
late.
was just like,
I probably wouldn't put
gotta
on makeup,
get
but I
there.
am going to grab a hat and I'm
Like-
going to put on a nice little
I had on
two-piece
a hat.
comfy set. And even though I'm not going to fight, I'm going to bring some stuff
I'm
prepared
bringing
to fight.
stuff.
Well,
and I'm calling my homegirls.
I have
who
a
will.
little secret. Like, I don't know how to fight, so that
I don't
wasn't
either.
even
That's why I
a
said I'm
thought
gonna
in
come.
my
Yeah, I'm
head.
not fighting.
Like,
I said I'm gonna call my
That wasn't my
homegirls.
thought. So
Or get a weapon.
I get to the hotel, the system is down. I'm like, God,
You have got to
really?
be kidding me.
So the lady's pregnant, and she's like,
Hit her with the sympathy.
no.
Oh.
I tell her I want to check in, and she's like, the system's down. I can't give you a key, but I can walk you to the room.
Thank you.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh no, because I don't know what I'm walking into. I'm going to just go sit in my car for a minute and I'm going to come back. So I gave about 10 minutes, came back. She had my key ready.
Okay.
I walked in with a key. He jumped out the bed, butt ass naked, and was like, you came? And I was like,
What? Nigga, did you? What's going on here?
I was just like, it was like a homeless suite. So, you had to like peek around a corner or whatever. And the girl's in the bed sleep. She's still there. Like she's still there. She's naked. She's in the bed. And
Was he hype?
So he was doing like duck, duck, goose with his head. Like he was like, Chanel, you came? And I'm like, you could stop all of that because I already see her. And then I'm like, oh, I was surprisingly so calm. I was like, oh, this is what you've been doing? Oh.
Oh, he was scared then because when you too calm.
And he was terrified. And mind you, butt ass naked. Like just
Just dick shriveling on up. Good.
And the girl doesn't move.
She was fake sleeping.
She just sits
She
there.
was awake. She probably was like, oh, shit.
I started tugging at the covers, right? She still don't move. And he
Nah,
like
I would've had
starts
to get
grabbing
up.
me and like moving me to the side. And he's like, calm down. And I'm like, but I'm so calm. Like,
But she needs to go.
I just want to know who she is. Like, I couldn't. So when I turned my back, she ran and locked herself in the bathroom. So she was in there for like 30
She was scared.
minutes.
I don't blame her.
She was in there.
I'd be scared too.
Because you don't know if you about to get killed, for real.
Because quite honestly,
Because I'm going to kill you.
If I was in that position, bitch, I'm hopping up and I'm telling everything you want to know, bitch. We riding together. I'm
Right.
sorry I didn't know this man was married, but anything you want to know, I got you. And we can both beat his ass because what the fuck is
No,
this?
but I think she knew that he was married.
She did, 'cause of
knew.
how she moved.
Yeah, she locked herself in the bathroom. Then
How the fuck
he
am I getting
ended up
home?
like taking his clothes. Her clothes.
Oh, her clothes.
To put them on and we don't really talk that much. He's like, this is my fault. Like, I fucked up. And I'm like, duh, it ain't my fault. And then he's like, you don't need to do anything. I'm like, I'm not. We have a child. Like, whatever. But what I am going to do is I'm going to FaceTime your sister so nobody could say that I'm lying about this. So I FaceTime his sister from the hotel room. And I'm like,
was she confused? Was she like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah,
let me put my contacts in.
And then I was like, okay, your brother's cheating on me. Here is the clothes. The girl's locked in the bathroom. I'm here in Tuscaloosa. And
was she like, no, he's not?
No, she was just like, what? And then she was like, Chanel, you need to calm down. I'm coming to get you. And I was like, no, I'm not going anywhere with any of y'all.
You had gone to that moment.
Like, I was like,
because I can't trust y'all. Because now, did you know?
No. Then the girl comes out the bathroom. And I'm on the other side of the room, and I'm trying to like see her face, but she puts the hoodie on, and she.
Did she have a nice body? Did she look like she maybe was cute?
She looked
like Tuscaloosa. You didn't want to say it. Y'all can be mad at me. People be mad at me at stuff I say all the time.
The episode, she looked like Tuscaloosa.
I'm sorry to Tuscaloosa. I'm sorry, but you understand. We got to ride for our girl Chanel right now. Sorry to everybody in Tuscaloosa. Maybe you should move to Birmingham.
Yeah, something like that.
What if she listens to the show? Bitch, fuck you. We looking for you now.
She can turn it off because you're wrong.
I don't even know who she was to this day. I never saw her face. Mm-hmm. She walked to the door, and he's like, Chanel, but I picked her up. And I'm like, Uber...
In Tuscaloosa?
Like Uber. Like,
do they have that?
Like Lyft? What does that have to do with me? So he takes his car keys out of his pocket and he throws them to the door and is like, just take my car. You have to go.
Did she take it?
No, I was like, bitch, put them keys down.
She probably didn't want to get the police called on her. Like, because I would have reported the car stolen immediately.
Smart. You are not about to take his car. What? So she leaves. And then, we sit there and then he leaves. I'm the last person left in the hotel. And then I leave.
Fucking Homewood
and then he calls me
places.
like 100 times.
Did he leave and go back to you all's home or he went to his mom's house?
To be honest, he went back to our home. I was not home when he went back to our home. I had went to my best friend's house to kind of tell her. I wasn't ready to tell my mom because, mind you, my mom was at the house with the baby.
Oh, yeah.
And she said that he just came to the house. He looked for me, didn't see me. He got our son, took him to daycare, and I didn't see him again until 2 weeks later.
Where was he at for 2 weeks? Back at the Homewood Suites?
Child, I don't know.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
Chanel.
Giving me some space. That's what he was giving me some space.
And probably protecting his life.
Right.
Because
when that happened, after that happened, like, and you had to sit with that and process it, and I'm sure you were sad because nobody gets married and expects for people to do this.
So sad.
But I always wonder, like, did you guys say vows at your wedding?
Yeah.
For better or for worse?
Did you write your own or
I
you
wrote
used the traditional?
Own, and he wrote his own.
Okay. Do you still have to, like, do the for better or for worse situation?
Yeah, you do.
So when you, were you like, okay, when we talk, I'm going to hope that we can work this out? Or was it like, now I'm sitting here reflecting on all of the past times when there were some flags that I ignored?
I think it was a little bit of both, if I'm honest. Mm-hmm. It was, I saw all these red flags and I ignored them. But then it's like, I'm in this marriage and I committed to love you through the good, through the bad, through the happy and the sad. And I was torn. I was waiting on his reaction as to what my next steps were. Like
meaning your husband's.
Yeah, I was waiting on how he reacted. Does he try to make it work?
Does he have remorse?
Let it go? Does he have remorse? Is he upset? Like, I'm waiting to see those actions, and the only thing I saw was like a whole bunch of calls, but like nothing
really. Did you, when you got married or when you were going into this marriage, did you feel like it was inevitable that he would cheat? Because you know how some people feel like all men cheat and this is something that I'll have to face one day, maybe not this damn soon, but one day. Or did you think I got me one and that's not gonna be our issue?
So call me naive. If you
we won't probably.
But So prior to marrying him, I was celibate for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Bitch, I did not know that.
Celibate
Yeah.
for 6 years? Till your wedding day or till
Yes.
y'all got engaged?
To my wedding day.
Bitch, I'm never doing that because...
And baby, I ain't never doing it again, okay? But,
You think I'm about to give you some fresh pussy? No, nigga. It's been beat down and walls is loose.
So I was celibate and we went through marriage counseling, like the people that we
At
chose.
the church? Or somewhere
we didn't
separate?
We went through my church second, but first we have these pastors that are mutual friends. Their churches in Kansas City. We knew them through business opportunities, and we figured we would get them to, I guess, counsel us because it was a mutual party, not my pastor, not his pastor, but people we knew.
But still pastors from a church.
Yeah,
This is
Instead of a
premarital
therapist.
This is
counseling.
premarital.
Okay.
So like,
Which I like to point out because a lot of the times when we talk about relationships and healthy relationships, you talk a lot about that before work. And so it just opens the doors to let you know that people are gonna people and niggas
Yeah.
are still gonna nig.
and they gonna lie. So we went through premarital counseling for 10 months, like every week. It wasn't skip a week here, no.
God
It was-
damn, I've been
And was
tired
he
of that
open
shit.
to doing it or did you have to force him?
No, he was open to doing it. And not only that, like, we had deep conversations. Like, they were asking him, like, how do y'all stay true to y'all relationship with, Chanel being celibate and you taking a vow to be celibate with her and, like, us doing all this stuff and whatever. So if people ask me, did I think he was going to cheat? No, because...
How long were y'all together before you got married?
3 years and 4 months. Because I was counting days.
I don't even know if I believe in niggas enough to think.
I don't believe
If
in me enough.
But let's just say I
Fuck
was like,
them.
I'm gonna be celibate, and I met a nigga, and I was like, I'm gonna be celibate, and he was like, yeah, cool. I'd be like, I know this nigga lying. He
start
He going to
fucking right
Colombia.
now.
He's smashing on bitches after bitches
Bitch, you
after
got to
bitches.
be down on the boulevard tonight. I don't even think you going out of the country. You're not about to be a passport, bro. You just about to be doing shit now because it's like
Let me
she
tell you
ain't
something.
fucking.
I don't
She
know a
gonna be
lot.
asleep early.
I don't know a lot. I don't know a
Right.
lot. But one thing I do know is niggas. And
Right.
niggas cannot go. They could go a little bit without sex. They can't go 3
But
years.
in my head...
And I'm a nigga, I know.
In my head, I'm
Mrs.
like...
Nigga is right
His
here.
excuse was, I'm 10 years older than you. I've been married before. I got 2 kids. When he asked me to be his girlfriend, I was like, hey, are you sure? Because I'm celibate. I don't want to have sex until I get married. I need you to make your mind up in 2 years. I waited an extra, 4 months. He proposed to me at 2 years and 4 months. And I was like, this is who I am. This is what I want. So if you don't want it, cool. We could just be friends.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, you're worth the wait. And this was the story he was narrating. It wasn't a secret. I wrote a book. I talked about celibacy. It wasn't a secret. It was our thing, and through counseling, it was our thing. So I really felt like
He was playing the
I
fuck out that
will.
role.
I
He should have
felt
took his
like-
ass to an acting class.
I felt like it was real. So
Yeah.
if somebody asked me, did I think he was going to cheat? The answer was going to be no. Because I felt like, damn, we waited all this time for us to have sex. And now you got me. So what is there to cheat about? Why would you wait? But
So the girl he was
wasn't
cheating
waiting,
with,
baby.
the girl he
Okay.
was cheating with, was this an ongoing thing or this was somebody he just met?
That was one of
many?
One of several. He did a Tiger Woods cheat.
One of.
Oh, did you ask him if he was a sex addict?
No.
Or what was his reasoning?
That I made him lose his confidence. And
How you do that?
niggas that don't have confidence, they cheat. That's what he told me. That's his reason. And that I should look at myself. I should put the mirror
He
in.
tried to spin it on you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you according to him, how did you make him lose his confidence? When is his confidence not yours?
I think that, dating a woman or being married to a woman that is very successful takes a different type of man. And I think it was cool when I was semi-successful, but it wasn't cool when I got really successful and the spotlight changed from him to me. Even though you could talk to almost anybody, I edified my husband. No, not me. Like, no, him. He does this. He does that.
I hear it from the audience.
But not only, because I feel like right now you're being humble. You did a lot of building. And we
did.
talked about this in a previous
with him
episode.
or just yourself?
No, she built him.
She
took his...
And y'all see why I don't believe in that?
I don't believe in it anymore either.
I understand. I think it's a beautiful thing if you can do it and it can work, because I don't think it always doesn't work out. But the way my luck's set up, I ain't never won the lottery and I paid about 100 times. I don't need to be building no niggas.
I think that we created, because I don't like to take claim on somebody else's success. I feel like, God does whatever he gonna do with whoever he gonna do it with, Okay. But I will say that we created a team.
You did God's work.
And our team got really successful when we were connected. And I will say that my influence in the situation made it a lot better.
Have you been working with PR?
No.
Oh, okay. That
Her
was
media training.
beautifully put together.
It's just the way
Did it make you wonder? Because even though you're like, before you were like successful, but I feel like even when we met you at the CockTales event at Traffic, like I've always looked at you like this very successful, financial savvy woman. Do you think that because a lot of the times we always talk about women who prey on men who have money, and we're like, we trying to be like Carisha and Diddy, and I'm going to use you for your money. Do you think that he saw something in you and was like, this is an opportunity for me? Or do you think that you guys were really in love? Because sometimes when people do major cheats like this, and it's like all of these people and all
You
of
want to be
these-
a city boy, and I don't respect
and
that.
it makes it look like you knew that I was going to enhance your life. So you kind of
You're
like...
an opportunist.
I think that he saw a golden ticket and he accepted it. I think that there were moments where we really were in love, but I think that the times where the red flags started popping up, maybe on both ends, I can't speak for him, but on my end, when the red flags started popping up, I kept hold to the promise that, God had told me or whatever. And I feel like maybe we would have separated then, but we didn't, because he saw the end result. He saw where it could go.
He was stupid, but not that
and then
damn
I was
stupid.
also very vulnerable. I mean, my dad died 3 months after we started after we started dating. So I think that, I found what I needed in him at the moment. And I'm not going to say it was intentional opportunity, but I feel like it was opportunity. Like, I come from a good family. Like, I'm pretty successful. I don't like to toot my own horn.
Toot it, bitch. Toot, motherfucker.
But-
Beep, beep.
Put a hand on him, Greg. Toot, toot, beep, beep.
But I'm pretty successful, and I was successful, when I met him at 26, and he's sitting at 36 like, damn, she got 2 cars that's paid off. She got a house. She got, a lot
I ain't
of money.
never seen this in Tuscaloosa.
A lot of money in the bank, and, she don't need nobody. And I think, that's attractive to a person that is an entrepreneur that wants success and I think that when we connected, he brought some good parts out of me too. And I think that, I brought the best parts out of him, and that's just what it was.
What were the red flags that you said you ignored?
Oh my God. The calling and not answering. Like,
You about to help somebody
He
right
would
now.
always have an excuse like, ooh, my tire blew, or I fell asleep, or I was whatever. Like, that shit was...
Your tire blew?
that shit was crazy. And I think that, I ignored it because I'm like, no, he's a good person, whatever. The baby mama drama with his ex-wife, who I now found out is not really drama.
She was just like, I need this nigga to help me.
Yeah. And that...
So yes, I'm calling.
And I supported him through that, now finding out, like, she's actually just a person that went through some shit that didn't want to deal with it, I saw red flags in his communication skills. I saw red flags in the way he thought.
Can you dive deeper into the communication and the way that he thinks? Because again, when I say like you're probably going to help a lot of people through this, I feel like sometimes as women, we are like, no, this isn't
A phase.
Yeah, this is just a phase. Like we're good.
I think it even boils down to... Sorry, I had to sip the really good drink.
I'm gonna sip too.
I think it boils down to the conversations that we had. Like, he was always like, you came from this and you came from that, and
Excuses as to why you're doing well or better than
my
him.
family comes from this, and you should think XYZ. And I used to be like, you know, I don't necessarily think the way that you think, and I don't agree with what you're saying. And everything that I said was like a manipulation tactic to turn it back on me. And
did it work?
Yeah, it did. Like, I was very naive. I was very gullible to almost everything he told me.
Do you think that had a lot to do with the age gap?
I think it had a lot to do with his age gap and his process of knowing the type of person that I am. So the type of person that I am is, you know, I don't be like, hey, I don't trust you. Like, until you really fuck with me, I'm going to trust you. And like, I think that for him, he took advantage of that. He made sure that I was very open to him, and everything that I was open to him about later on in our arguments, it came back to me. That was a red flag to me. But in my head, I was like, no, he's just trying to make me better. But in reality was like, no, he's using my weaknesses against me.
And like throwing it in your face.
And throwing it in my face to make me feel bad. But reality was, that's really what he was doing. And what I really thought he was doing was like trying to make me a better person. You know? Even the amount of people I had around me, he was like, no, you don't need all these people are fake. All these, like, it was
Why
like,
would he say that?
they're trying to get rid of my friends. I think it was like, I don't think it was intentional control, but I think it was control. Like, if you have all these people around you, you can't see through me, but maybe they can.
In hindsight, do you feel like he was abusive in any way, whether it was financially, emotionally, or physically?
Financially, yes. Emotionally, yes. Mentally, yes. Physically, no.
So what would he do financially and like all of the
you mean like
things?
go to the club and spend $5,000 and then come back home at 5 a.m. and be like, oh, everybody's just going to pay me back cash, and then I never see the cash back?
I'm telling you, right? But this is
$5,000 at the club.
We talked about this one time on the show too. There is, when you get married and when you become a family person, I don't care how much fucking money you have. I need you to pay attention to your responsibilities, sir. And that is just dumb. Why are you out here spending $5,000 at the fucking club?
And you didn't even bring me. I like to smoke hookah and take shots, bitch, and dance on tables.
Right.
And get drunk and have to be carried up that
Me
bitch.
too. I like to do that.
You didn't even invite me, and you spent up $5,000 of
Somebody
our
gotta
money.
take care of the baby.
And I think
My mama is at the house. I want to go out, turn up, and twerk a little something.
Why do niggas feel like they
something.
can't turn up with their wives? Did y'all ever turn up together as husband and wife?
we did it before I had my baby.
Okay.
I think having my baby was him being like, oh, now I'm comfortable in this marriage. I'm cool. Like, she trusts me. She wants to be a mom.
That was his anchor.
To the marriage. I think
She was like, I trapped her.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, like, I don't know his intentions. Like, I don't like to speak on him. But I can tell you from my perspective, when I throw it back, I'm like, yeah, when I had this baby, that was your way of keeping me in this damn house, you know?
And I think it's really dope that, well,
That's why I ain't have no damn baby, bitch. I'm going to be outside, too. I'm watching you, me and my
Now,
homegirls.
you just got to have a nanny.
Well, you need to be home with your baby.
Well, I'm not going to be in the club at 7 months pregnant, bitch. I'm not doing it.
I was going to say, I think you are very fortunate that you had the means to be like, I'm not sitting here with you, nigga, while you playing on me. Because there's so many women right now in this situation that they want to do that.
They don't have an exit plan.
They don't have it. They were like, he was the nigga buying the bags and the shoes and paying for the sections. And then you don't have a job and you're just using his money. And now he's like, yeah, bitch. And you got to stay. And you were like, no, the fuck I don't.
And it's so crazy because he forced me to get a divorce. Like, his actions forced me to get a divorce.
Because you wanted to work it out?
After the cheating, I was like, I will admit, I was like, no, guy, you told me to stay here. I'm going to stay.
You are loyal as fuck to God.
I'm going to work it out. And then, 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant with our second baby.
Hell.
And I'm like, no. God, I'm going to stay. I'm going to be devoted to my husband. I'm going to work it out, you know. And that was my intention always, to work it out. And, you know, we had my bonus daughter's birthday party, and he acted a damn fool there, acting crazy. And then, like, we had my son's birthday party, and that was crazy. All in the same month, within 30 days of me catching him cheating. And then it was finding a second phone in my house with a whole bunch of girls in it, and the password being his birthday, like, dumb. But
That is very dumb.
Learn how
I
to
just
cheat.
got to the point
Right.
to where I was just like, God, if you could give me a way out, like, just give me a way out. And literally at my next doctor's appointment, I found out that I had a miscarriage. I was stressed as fuck. Like, I have a hired a private investigator. It was just like a lot of shit was going on. It was crazy.
What the PI find?
A lot of dumb shit. Like, and then I was my own private investigator. So
Right,
I found
so
my own shit,
tag
and then they
teaming.
found their shit. And then it just turned out to be where I was just like, you know what?
God was like,
Now-
bitch, okay, send her another one.
I
Hey,
got this
Michael,
miscarriage.
send Chanel another one.
I'm like, okay, God, I had this miscarriage. Okay, I'm out.
I've
this
killed
bitch.
everything from this.
And I
yeah.
think, you know, right after that, literally within 4 or 5 days, I went and I filed for divorce. And was just like, but even y'all, if I'm honest, even when I filed for divorce, I wasn't done. I wasn't done. I was just like, if he want his marriage, he's gonna fight for it. He gonna fight for it. And
Did you keep having sex with him after you caught him cheating?
I haven't had sex with that man since January 24th of 2023. Never. No.
Do you think that, or are you celibate now?
No.
Or do you think you'll go that route? Did this
No, I would
situation
never
turn
be-
you off, or was it
I
something
would
else?
never be celibate ever again in my life.
Why?
I just feel like, you know, God's gonna love me regardless of what I do.
God gonna love you if you busting it wide open or not.
Right? He gonna love me.
He's
and
a
I just feel
forgiving
like
man.
I tried it.
What
I
is that?
tried
He's a
it that
forgiving
way.
man.
You know, I tried it that way, and more power to the people that want to do that way. I did it, and you know, this is where I ended up. And I'm thankful for my experience. But in my experience, I also learned, like, that's not what I want to do. And if, you know, if God gonna love me, he gonna love me. And that's just gonna be what it is.
What do you say to women or men who are in marriages and saving it for religious reasons? Because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I look at like some religious people. I don't consider myself religious. I do consider you religious, and I think it's beautiful. I love everything that you post, and I even love, like I said, how you've handled this whole situation, and God is at the center of it. I probably need God at the center of some of the stuff that I be doing.
Maybe spiritual, not really religious.
Spiritual
but I
or
got
religious,
that.
but it's like when it comes to like the thinking about saving marriage for religious reasons, I'm always like, yeah, but when are you like, yeah, no.
Because the devil is busy.
But if I run that back, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if I would have had sex with you before I got married, and if I would have lived with you before I got married, we wouldn't have got to the aisle. So like now, when I look at things, I'm really praying for discernment on who I connect myself to. It's very simple. Like, I'm not saying, hey God, I'm just gonna be celibate until you give me my husband, because baby, you might never give me my husband again. But if you do, I want you to know that I'm trying to do things your way. But this time, I just want you to give me discernment. Before I save my body, save my heart. I think that that's probably the most important thing. I want you to guard my heart, because that's the thing that breaks. And then when your heart breaks, it's just everything messed
that
up.
it can be just horrible. I think the Holy Rollers will hate me for this, but sometimes I feel like when the Bible was getting translated from all them different languages, one of those men who didn't have shit going of the Lord,
He was like, oh my God.
He said, we about to put this in here and we about to figure out a way. I got a scam for y'all. Come here, brothers.
We're going to make
Come here,
people
brethren.
believe this. The bitches
We're
going to
gonna
think they
tell
got to
them
stay with these niggas.
They can't fuck us because we got some little bitty peckers and we don't really know how to work them, and some of them are a little diseased. So we're just gonna tell them to save themselves, so they trapped in. We're gonna feed them all of this stuff
And
about
then
how
when they
you have
get
to
in, we're gonna
stay
tell
no
them
matter
they can
what.
never deny us sex. They can,
Yes.
because that will send you straight to hell.
And I am your husband, and you need to listen to everything I say. And I
Everything.
said you gotta fuck me,
I
so
don't
you need
want
to fuck
marriage
me.
to be like that.
No.
I think
neither.
that going
It's a
through
scheme that somebody
divorce,
set up.
I've redefined what marriage looks like for me. at first, I look at marriage and I'm like, I'm going to submit to my husband. Whatever he says, we're going to be in this shit together. But reality is like, how am I submit to somebody that's not even submitted to you? That's crazy, right? Ooh. Like, that's
a word.
Crazy. So like now, as I sit in the seat that I am, I'm like, God, I don't want to be in no marriage where I feel like parts of me have to change or parts of me have to die to be with the person. I want my partner to be my best friend, the person I can pray with, turn up with, get high with, drink a little something with, have sex with, turn up with. I want to
do the things that you enjoy.
Yeah. But the first time I got married, it was just like, this is what you need to do and this is how I need it to be. And, this is what wives do. And because I had never been a wife, I'm like, okay, even down to the way his mama talked about my shorts being too short. I'm like, all right, God.
Wait, was this your first husband? You said the first time you got married?
Yeah, this was my only husband.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, damn, my shorts got to be longer to please you, God? Like, what? No, but now I'm sitting in a space and I'm like, whenever my next husband comes, it's going to be like, you going to get me, the raw version of me, and not like the dolled up version that you wanted me to be.
That's so important. I think that is ultimately like what people, again, if you're looking for like a healthy, real connection with somebody, the glitz and the glam, it's really cool and it's cute. It's cute. I'm not denying that. It feels nice when a man buys you something.
It sure do.
But it feels even better when it feels even better when he cherishes like your feelings and your heart and he considers you in almost every aspect of his life. Yeah, it feels good when he has your back. I mean, I am in love. But even when I'm not in love, I still have said this is the type of person I want. Yeah. What you can get me, that's great. But how do you handle family? How do you handle conflict?
Right.
And how do you handle just dealing with people in general? That matters.
And how do you feel about me? Because like all these things that he wanted you to change, it's like, okay, well, I'm me.
Right.
And while I understand there are some adjustments that can and will be made because I'm older, things are changing in our relationship. It's things that single women do that married women or in relationship women don't do. I get it. But how do you feel about who I am at my core? Right. And do you respect my feelings on these different things? And did we talk about these things? Did y'all talk about like the changes that he expected you to make and then the changes that you expected him to make?
Yeah, we did, but I'm going to be honest, those conversations could have been a lot more in depth. For me, it was just like, okay, my husband wants me to be home more. Okay, well, it ain't turn up time no more. Like, it ain't turn. For the first year, he was at home, right?
Okay.
Right.
So it's both of y'all are at home.
It was when we had our child. It was like, we had a business together. We were growing our business together. And every time he was out, it was an excuse of, I'm getting more clients for our business and da-da-da-da. And I'm believing you. And
not down at the Gold Room. They don't even mop these floors, nigga. What you talking about?
And I'm putting trust in you. And I think that's where I had to learn that everybody that is for you or says they're for you might not really be for what you want or what you need. And
that's why I tell everyone, you have to constantly have communication about the slightest things.
Dumb stuff. Even stuff that you think is dumb, you need to talk about
because sometimes it snowballs into something bigger. Why won't you rinse your fucking plate off and put it in the dishwasher? You keep putting the plate in the sink and you want me to come and clean it up while you watch the sports in the stock market. What the fuck is that about? You know what I mean?
Why am I up at 2 a.m. and I just had a baby in a C-section and I'm pumping all this breast milk
and you snoring.
You snoring, right?
Disturbing me and the baby. I'm trying to produce milk to nourish the life we created and you just sleep. What baby did you build in your gut?
Right. And why am I making all these sacrifices? Why am I selling my perfectly awesome house to go move to this big ass house to fit your dream? Because I lived in a big house in my life. This is to fulfill your dream and you leave me hanging. I think that all of those things played a cycle in where we ended up. But I will say this. I will say now, a year and a half, into us finally getting divorced, it took us so long to get divorced. I can say, like, for all those people that might be going through this, you gotta find a way to forgive. You gotta find a way to let the bitterness go.
So you don't end up being jaded.
Right. And now we're at a place to where we get along. We don't have no issues. We take care of our son. We co-parent effectively. You know, he pays child support. I'm good. We don't argue. We're good. But I think
Do he be trying to spend the night when he come to see your son?
no, because there's no seeing me when you pick up our son. Pick him up
I
from
will
daycare.
say Chanel did a good job of setting a boundary.
What you be doing?
Pick him up from daycare,
It's a
drop him
boundary.
off at daycare.
Oh, and then you'll pick him up the other way or whatever.
Like, I set boundaries.
Because I know they like to
in
try
our
to slide back in.
relationship.
And I like when people set boundaries like that because that's a very clear boundary. Some people be like, well, why is he coming to your house? If you really want to keep fucking that nigga, then just be honest with yourself. That's what you want. You want to
And
see
the
him.
homegirls, because we trying to keep up with the story, and it's juicy. But bitch, you said you wasn't fucking him no more. We
And
over
then you
here
turn around
flagging
and you
his
fuck him
post,
again.
and you still fuck him. Now, what we supposed to do, friend?
And you're still hoping that you're together. But I know that my good friend is not hoping that. But before we
I'm
move
glad that you are feeling good about it, though, and that you guys, through all of that mess, because that is some mess,
It was
that you
mess.
got to a point where, bitch, we can talk about the baby, but drop him off in the morning, and I'll pick him up in the evening, and you know when your Friday
it shows
is.
her grace because I just don't. I hope I never have to experience this, but
I
I
don't
just know
ever
the way that
want
my
I think that's what you
attitude
have to
is
do,
set
too,
up
as a
with
mother.
less that I've been through. It's like you remember that time we were in Houston with my old friend, and I almost remember, and I had to fly. It was a mess.
I don't even
Like,
want to tell y'all what she did, but she cut the fool.
I
Okay,
did. I'm a very nice person, but the anger that
if
can
you
sometimes
ever see Medina when she gets angry,
you won't be my friend anymore.
y'all would expect it from me. It's her. It's her. It's not me.
Yeah, but it takes a lot. To
My
get me
friend
there.
is a good friend. I'm not gonna believe that.
She's
Well,
a good
no,
friend, but
friend.
when you get mad, you know everybody has their breaking point.
Yeah.
and we're all human.
But I said to say
She
this is
showed her
to
ass.
showcase the grace that literally every time Chanel would tell me
not even
something
sweating.
new, I was like,
Bitch, what you want me to do?
It was you and all of my friends, and I was,
Chanel got in a very bad car accident while she was working through this divorce. I'm talking about she
I
was
did.
thrown out of her vehicle. She's in
My
a
mom
whole
died while I
body
was working through
brace.
this
What?
divorce.
Oh no!
It was all very
I'm
bad.
so sorry to
It
hear
was
that.
when I tell
In the
you,
accident or something else?
No, something else.
Okay.
So it was caught my husband cheating January, filed for divorce in March. Mom got diagnosed with cancer in August. Had a life-threatening accident in November. Mom died January 1st. Then divorce got finalized March of this year.
Oh my
And through
God.
all of this, she was giving that person grace and handling this with grace, and she wasn't getting that in return. And sometimes there are people that I'm like, this is why I be believing that God is real and he be moving through people.
God
because I
is
just
real,
don't
Medina.
think I could have
I think that
handled
God
it
is
this
real,
way.
and that's probably what kept you grounded. And at the end of the day, that wasn't the right situation. I still think the devil was whispering in your ear. He got through, but it lets you know that hey, I can still be good. And even though I went through this bad situation, it's not the end.
It's not.
And you got a story to tell. And maybe, unfortunately, you had to go through some really fucked up stuff.
But
to
through
be able
all
to
of that, you're
help
still like,
other
my next
people.
marriage. This baby be like, my next marriage. I'm like, I love to hear that.
Because
My
I was
next
going to ask
marriage
if you
about
were
to be
jaded, but you
lit.
already said no. And I love that because
Yeah.
sometimes, things like that will take you out and be like, fuck everybody.
Yeah. And I will say that it takes the right type of grounding. I would be lying if I said this was just me, but I had a circle of people that were praying for me and uplifting me through this and holding me down. Like it was like an argument with them, and then I get on the phone and they praying and they like, oh, Chanel, it's
But
gonna
then
be
she got
okay.
them other friends that will snatch the phone and cuss that nigga out.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Balance. Life is about
Yeah.
balance.
We
and
was
that's
in the
what you need.
hospital arguing on the. I was like, we're about to get kicked out of the hospital. On that note, we are going to move on to Indecisive Diane, and when we come back, you're going to help us give some of these women advice.
Okay.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want? What do you want?
Hey, ladies, it's me, Diane. And this week, I want you to grab your bae or your kids and go to the Blueberry Farm. If you live in Georgia, Google it, the Blueberry Farm. Go there, pick blueberries, have fun, have lunch, enjoy the sun, get some vitamin D. Bye, ladies. If you go, take pictures, tag CockTales, and tell us how it was. Bye.
All right, you guys, so we are back from Indecisive Diane. We're going to guzzle these drinks and give you advice, so don't get mad at us. You should have contacted a real therapist.
The drinks are guzzled, Kiki.
Well, we still got a little, we all got a little bit left. Anyway, if you have a question that you might want us to answer on the show, make sure you email us advice@cocktailspod.com.
Okay, this one is titled DC Dick. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
I love and appreciate y'all for all that you do. And I would like to thank y'all for opening up a platform for women to come and talk about sex, love, and relationships openly. Now, here's my question. I met this guy on Facebook dating back in February, and he lives in DC, and I don't. We have been texting and talking since then, and now it's June. I fly out here to celebrate my birthday, and we meet up, took some shots. Next thing I know, I'm dropping my hotel location. Long story short, we have sex, and it was not cocktail worthy, not even a little bit. And I would rate the sex overall a 4.5 out of 10. His head was whack, and he took a long time to get hard.
Goddamn.
Those should have been signs to stop this madness. My question is, how would y'all suggest getting past this horrible night? Not to mention, I am dating exclusively with someone else back home, but I didn't get no dick.
Wait.
How are you dating exclusively and you just fucked this one?
What?
People don't
Maybe
communicate.
she's only going on dates, but this doesn't count as a date because it was just a little fucky fuck.
That baby said,
No,
I
that's not
am
exclusive.
dating exclusively with someone back home, but I didn't get no dick before I left, so I needed my coochie touched. However, I'm not a one-night stand type of girl, and I really thought after 4 months of talking, the sex was going to be good. I
What
can't
was your
talking
first
to
mistake?
who?
The other person, she wasn't in an exclusive relationship.
Do you know what exclusive means? That means just you and
The person.
it's exclusive,
Nobody else.
not a community.
I can't really fuck someone, then not care about them the next minute.
Are you sure?
Yo, this is funny. I'm
I
sorry.
would like to know, what would y'all do in my situation?
Go to sleep.
I would.
It's not done. Side note, I do have a date with a light-skinned, tatted, healthy beard and young IHOP server
Hell
that I
no.
met after
First
we...
off,
Hold on.
Date and exclusivity don't work. Like what?
She's full of shit.
That
I met.
Young IHOP server that I met after we left from taking shots. But I will not fuck. LOL. Thanks in advance, and sorry for the long advice. I had time to think with this nigga snoring louder than a bear in my ear trying to cuddle. Bye. Love y'all.
That should be enough for you to just get your shit, bitch, and go.
Okay, so
Like what
my
are we talking
advice
about?
is that she needs to look up the definition of exclusivity.
Facts.
Number one. Secondly, is that just say you want to date people. Like
You
do
don't have
not-
to be
you don't have to
exclusive.
be
It's like you trying to collect
exclusive.
niggas like Future.
Like-
you want to collect the niggas and add them to your collection and talk about exclusive, but the exclusivity is only they supposed to be exclusive to you.
Yes.
Newsflash, bitch, it ain't happening.
Right. Just go out. Like, if you want to fuck the nigga that you met at the hotel or the nigga that you say you ain't fucking from IHOP or whatever, just go and do what you want to do. Like, that's what dating is about. I think that the most messed up thing right now in society is that we feel like we have to explain our fucked up behavior. And I just feel like, let your fucked up behavior be your fucked up behavior.
We'll lead with it, though. It's okay
Like,
to communicate that
Don't
with somebody.
lie and say you want to be exclusive
When you know you
want to
trying to
fuck
be
the
outside
world.
this summer.
You want to fuck the nigga at IHOP and Denny's, and then
Say
you gonna be
wanna
at U Street on
exclusive
oohs and
after
ahs.
the summer.
Yeah, it's like, girl, just tell people, lead with what you want to really be
I want
your
to be a
story.
city girl. Leave me alone.
Right.
And
Just
don't
say
be
that.
worried about what people think about it. And then when you moving how you moving, I'll be looking at y'all like, okay, you're not really confident in the city girl you're trying to be.
Right.
Well, a city girl would not be fucking the nigga from IHOP.
Yeah.
Sure would.
Next
Next you don't have
advice.
enough money, Kiki.
The tips ain't tipping like that.
Tell us how it works. We hope it helps. So we're gonna.
I hope it doesn't work. Okay, weird sister-in-law energy, because I didn't like that. I don't want that for you. I want you to just start over, delete everybody, get a new roster. Okay.
And I will say, let me just add something else. I'm so sorry, sis, because I really do be also feeling like we are all in our 30s, Kiki's in her 20s, but I think it takes a minute to get to this point, but it would help if you try to understand
How old
what
did she
we're
say she was?
Wasn't she in her 20s? I don't
No,
even-
that was last week.
Okay, I don't know how old she is, but I feel like she's in her 20s. And I feel like it takes a lot.
Acting like that, she got to be in her 20s.
You got to
I
go through a
hope.
lot to like learn the stuff, but take the advice and try, at least just try to apply it, because you will bypass a lot of bullshit and probably.
We're really just trying to help.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, it's like we done been through a lot of these things. We're just trying to pass the torch so you don't have to go through all the bullshit.
Own
But
your dating experience. Like,
When you
nobody makes it except you.
You design your life, and everything that happens to you, you deserve.
And when you fuck a nigga from IHOP, 1, send a picture. 2, let us know how it was. So I feel like that's gonna be a cocktail because it's giving broke on his behalf, and I know that dick gonna hit. Okay, it's the next one. Weird sister-in-law energy. Is this your boyfriend's sister or your husband?
That's a good question.
Because you put it in quotes. A sister-in-law is a sister-in-law, and I feel like I already know where this is going. But let me just read.
Sister-in-law is the
You need
the
paperwork. The brother's sister,
wife.
but I'm saying no.
brother's
Your husband's sister.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
But
your
if this
husband's
is your boyfriend,
your
this is not
husband's
your
brother.
sister-in-law. This is your friend.
right. I'm
wait.
confused.
sister-in-law. If it's your
We don't know yet. We haven't read
husband's
it.
sister, then that's the sister-in-law. If it's your husband, but if it's a boyfriend, it don't count. All of that is deleted because y'all don't have nothing in the law books. Okay. Hey Kiki, hey Medina. I feel like y'all get a lot of relationship sex questions, so let me switch it up. Well, why would you do that? That's what this show is about. But let's see what she's got to say. Okay. For context, I'm 24 and I've been with my boyfriend, knew it, almost 3 years, and it's been absolute bliss. Maybe y'all
You
can
writing in for advice.
maybe y'all can give your take on a couple who never argues.
Y'all
You know
be
how I feel about
arguing.
y'all.
Y'all be arguing.
I feel
y'all
like
just
people be
don't calling it
lying
arguments.
because you don't have to tell people about your arguments, but it's some sort of disagreement. Otherwise, it's giving fake. Okay, anyway, maybe y'all can give your take on a couple who never argues, although we are still growing together. There's no tension. We speak openly. You want to convince us it's a good thing. Okay, I'll skip the rest of that. We have been living together for the last year and some change. And before us, he lived at home, which of course fostered such a strong bond with family. But with his sister, that bond is times 10. Girl, I mean, they did almost everything together. Well, wait a minute. What is everything? To eating out, going to bars, clubs, watching shows together, all that. And since we've been together, the energy I get from her is so weird. She don't like you. She almost never acknowledges me when we're in the same room, barely speaks to me, but will focus on my man, aka her brother, and making a two-sided convo. Now I know y'all are probably thinking she just misses her brother. No, I was thinking she doesn't like you, but
Yeah,
it
that's
could
not
be
what
that.
I'm
I think it's a combination, but it's the extra for me. It's the always asking him for money like that's your man and you got one. It's the not coming to our housewarming when we were waiting on you to put up all day. But the minute I'm out of town, you want to throw a party at our apartment. It's the overall stank attitude in my presence for real. Like who doesn't speak when they come into someone's house? Be fucking for real. I feel you on that because that's rude. So nasty, so rude. I've asked my boyfriend before if she has a thing with me, but he just assured me that that's just how she is. I've seen a loving side to her, but more times than not, she's aggressive, rude, quick to start fights, and even her own family walks eggshells around her. She has made attempts, like commenting on a social media post of mine, but that gives me more ick than anything because when I see you, you don't speak. She put that in caps. Quick story time, not necessary. She's just a bad influence. My boyfriend was away for work recently and she drove to spend time with him. Cool. But she's such a heavy drinker that a bar is almost always a must. 5 drinks in an hour, a $400 drink tab, 3 random girls she invited, and a night in the club till 3:30 a.m. with a 5 a.m. call time. This is all him recounting his night to me. Best believe I scolded his ass, but his excuse was she drove to see me and that's what she wanted to do. It's like she doesn't respect our relationship or his time, life, or pockets. To be honest, I don't think I want a real personal relationship with her because I know she's naturally a negative person. But I do wish we could be cordial. And I know y'all are asking why I haven't just asked her what's up, but I promise something as simple as me saying hi and her not acknowledging me will be enough to send me. So I shut up. She's never done anything to me, but I'm someone very focused on the energy around me. Sorry this was long, but what would y'all do in my situation? I've been ignoring it up until this point, but knowing me, I won't be able to stay silent for long. I don't want a ring on my finger and debating on if I should go across this girl's face. I'm not huge on astrology, but she's a June Cancer and I'm a July Cancer. What y'all think?
So much to say.
Okay.
First off, the sister just doesn't like you. That's the bottom line. Secondly, I feel like at the end of the day, her trying to prove herself or make it seem like they could be cool, that's irrelevant. You're not his wife. You are his girlfriend. Yeah. So for me, I just feel like you do you and she gonna do her. And it's not up to her to decide the way that her sister, her boyfriend's sister treats her. It's up to her boyfriend.
I agree.
To decide how his sister
he has to intervene.
treats her.
That's what I was gonna say. I actually don't look at this as like your sister-in-law's problem. It's the boyfriend's problem.
Because that's his fucking sister.
And he knows what's going on behind your back, and you're either gonna check it or you're not. And it's like you can do it in front of me or you can do it behind my back. And it's like you set the tone for how people are gonna treat me. I've done that in relation. I never really had to do that with my family because my family just respects everybody. Right. But there have been like certain friends that I bring around where I'm like, the spicy friend, you need to tell her about herself. Don't play with this one. This is my best friend. She's coming around. I know sometimes she could talk a lot and maybe be annoying, or maybe you don't like certain things about her. Don't play with me and her. Right. You need to know we're not doing that. And when the main person addresses it, it almost always
goes away.
Yeah.
Or the common denominator. I think that you need to have a talk with your boyfriend and make sure that he's sure of how you feel. Don't leave anything up to an assumption because he saw some interactions. You have to speak to these men very plain as they are in their minds. Speak to them very plain. Be very direct. Don't leave anything up for interpretation or confusion. And use the smallest words possible. Maybe write it down and reinforce it a few ways just to be clear, right? Yeah. I'm sure he's not stupid, but sometimes when it comes to things of the emotions and the heart, when it comes to
men and their families, their mamas and their sisters, they're scared. They just don't know what they're like. I lived with them for my whole life.
My brother be real mute when he talks to me about girls, and I am gonna look at you like, bitch, prove it. Right. I want to see you do a jig.
My brother just doesn't know how to handle. He just stops talking to everyone. The girls mad, we're mad. He doesn't know they don't be knowing what to do.
They don't.
So it's very uncomfortable for everybody. Please believe I don't know because y'all not married again.
Y'all aren't married, but maybe you want to go down that road. So I'm not saying ignore it all, because if this is going to be a serious thing, you don't want to wait until it's like, okay, you propose. Well, now I got a laundry list of issues, like we said in a previous episode or whatever. Talk to him about it and see how he handles it, because this is another thing. Outside of the sister-in-law, that's not really your sister-in-law. Please stop saying that. Because I'll be damned with somebody.
You talking about his mama?
No, I'm
talking... Because the mama a whole different ball game.
I'm talking about this girl who wrote the letter. Stop calling that lady, that boy's sister, his sister. That's not your sister-in-law. Don't ever call me a sister-in-law. My brother's not married. Not a single one of them. Half brothers, step brothers. Well, I don't have no whole brothers, but anyway... Point is, you need to talk to him and then see how he handles it. Because what that whole situation is going to tell you is what you see for your future. Because what if there's an issue with his mother, his father, or another family member, or just another person? How is he going to protect you? How is he going to speak up for you? And that's going to tell you a lot about him, period. So you need to speak up to him and let him know how you're feeling, and then see how he handles it. Because if he doesn't handle it well...
This was the part that we were talking about when we did that episode a few weeks ago about green flags and paying attention to how a man stands up for you. And I'm not talking about shooting niggas and fighting. I'm just talking about...
we don't mean that. Just talking to your sister, hey, you're rude to her.
Yeah, don't do it. Or sometimes when people check people in front of you, you be like, oh, I didn't even know he's about to do that.
That made my pussy wet.
I also say she needs to evaluate their relationship, and she needs to see where his respect level for her is, because the letter started off with, they don't argue. So
She
do
lying.
you have
Yeah.
do you have a disagreement? Do
She
you
didn't
talk
want us to
about it?
attack her
Or
man.
are you a yes person? Are you a person that
That's a
constantly
good point.
Are you a person that constantly says yes? And so because you constantly say yes, he doesn't respect you. And because you constantly say yes and he doesn't respect you, he's gonna let his sister take charge because she's not a yes person.
Or is he the yes
Right.
person
And I
that only
think-
tells you what you want to hear and it will lie
then
to you
he's
and say,
telling
"Oh, I
his-
talked to my sister."
Right. And he's telling his sister what she wants to hear too.
And the sister was like, "Fuck her and fuck you, and give me $500 because I'm trying to go to the club tonight
With the bitches.
And I'm gonna tell mama what you did in 7th grade, and he's scared of you and the mama, and now it's just a vicious cycle."
You're scared of everybody.
Because I just feel like there's no way that in 3 years you haven't had no disagreements and your only
She just didn't
problem
wanna
is
tell
with
us.
your boyfriend's sister. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that there's a much deeper root there.
You just scooting in
And
the
that,
ride.
yeah, your boyfriend either doesn't respect you or respects his sister more or doesn't care about your feelings about that. And that's cool. But
I
you
think
need to
it's the
define
last
what that
two.
situation is.
We hope that you work it out. Let us know how it goes. Send us an email or do something. She did send pictures of the girl, the friend, the
Oh my God.
the sister. I
The
archived
sister,
it.
ooh, I'm gonna go look later.
So we're gonna
Thank
move
you
on
for
to
the
cocktails.
photos.
Before we do move on to cocktails, I do want to mention that the Vesper 2 is out. Click the link in the description so that you can get the Vesper 2. And yeah, Kiki and I wear them all the time. We don't have them on now, but we wear them a lot.
yeah, I have my Vesper one. The
I might
original.
need to get one.
But there's
Yes.
the black one. It really gives. You gotta get it. That's
Yeah.
the Vesper too.
They're waterproof and they're sexy jewelry pieces. So I really feel like we only have time for one.
If I want fuck, I'm gon' fuck 'em. But if he ain't got a buck, I won't cuff 'em. Spend 100 on me, it ain't nothing. Run a double D, so stuffin'. Back to the point, is it some cash in this place? If it is, I'll probably stick the stats in your face, turn around. Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe, was a hoe, was a hoe.
Yes.
Cocktail. Chanel swore up and down she didn't have a cocktail.
But I know with the life you live, yes, you do.
I know. So I sent her one so that she could read a cocktail.
Okay.
So read us the title and then go into the cocktail.
Okay, so it's called Just Let Me Try It. All right, this might be lengthy, but here we go. So me and this boy, let's call him Jones, have been messing around for 5+ years of strictly friends with benefits. Obviously, we fucked plenty of times, but this last time had me in a chokehold. All caps, okay? So when he comes over, we usually get straight to it. But this time, I wanted to play a game called Let's Get Deep. It's like I'm curious to know, but y'all be sold out, so I can't get it. Anyways, as we were playing the game, we got to a card that asked, what is something you'll like to try in bed but have been nervous to ask? So I looked at him and started laughing and said, can I just show you? Okay,
I like
girl.
her already.
So boom, I slid his boxers down and started sucking his dick slowly up and down. Then I started going faster with slobber dripping down my face. Okay. As I slowed down again, I made my way to his cherries from the right, one to the left. And after I gave them a little attention, I started slowly sliding both legs up. He stopped me and asked, what are you doing?
Getting in your booty hole.
I said,
Exactly.
Shh, just let me try it. And he knew exactly what I meant. So yes, I started making my way down to his booty hole.
Making my way downtown, watching
And with a few licks, and he started moaning.
I know he
and
did.
once I heard them, I started devouring it. With a few minutes of that, he pulled me up on top of him and I started right in his face until I came all in his mouth. He got up and turned me around and gave me a little tongue to booty action too. And I came again. He started doing back
Love a
shots.
little tongue booty, a takumbi. I call it a takumbi dookie. A little takumbi doo.
He started doing back shots and was beating this pussy like he never had it. So I had to start fucking back, and once he let me take control, I slid off and started sucking his dick again until he came all on my face. I told him to lay down, and I started riding that motherfucking dick like a cowgirl. And as his moans got louder, I told him to hush and popped my titty in his mouth, which he started
like a
making
newborn
love
baby.
to. Like breastfeeding, bitch, I understand.
If he lifted her titty in.
I rode him till we both came, and we just laid there till we both drifted off to sleep. And that's my cocktail. Thank you, Medina, for making me comfortable enough to try that booty hole. So it is now encrypted in our sex routine.
You're welcome, sis. That's what I'm talking about. Wakanda forever. Go to the dark places of the world and experience that. Because I'm telling you right now, that's good communication. We was talking about niggas that can't communicate. When you have nasty sex with a nigga and he get his booty and lifting his legs up, you calling his balls cherries, that's conversation and communication.
Cause we in that for the long run.
We in that for the long run, baby
Right.
boy.
Or maybe just for tonight, and that's okay
For a
too.
good
okay.
time, not a long time.
Because hey, any ass could get, well, not any ass, but a lot of ass could
The
get
ass
ate.
could get ate.
Yeah, so
I got you.
I feel like this was a very needed episode. The
Thank you
content
for
was
sharing
great.
your story.
Thank you so much.
I love you guys.
We love you too. Let everybody know where they can find you. If you have anything going on, if you have anything you want the people to know, let them know.
Oh, so outside of, cocktails, I'm kind of a real estate agent.
Not kind of.
That is, kind of successful or whatever. You can follow me on Instagram at Chanel Chase James. Yes, I still kept his last name because it's my baby's last name, okay?
I love you.
Yes, you can find me pretty much on any platform at Chanel Chase James.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for sharing the story. You guys check her out if you're looking to buy a house or whatever kind of property. Because
Or
she
you
probably
need
can buy.
advice about, your divorce or whatever.
Well, that too. Check her out. Make sure that you check the link in the links in the description box. We are going on tour again. We are starting off in New York. It's going to be New York, Charlotte, Chicago, St. Louis, Philly, and what's the last one? DC.
DC.
And
That's gonna be
Atlanta.
our biggest show at the Howard
No,
Theater.
we went to Atlanta this year already.
We did
If you
Atlanta too
snooze,
much.
you lost.
I was
Sorry.
there.
Yeah,
So
so you were there, so you did it.
This is
But
the last
that's
call.
it.
So get your tickets to whatever city is appropriate for you. Come celebrate. If it's your birthday, come. If you want to take a dude on a date and you don't never pay for no dates, pay for this date.
It's not gonna be that high.
It's not. Come
And the shows are amazing. I
Thank you.
have been to every Atlanta show, and I think they're amazing.
Thank
you.
you. Make sure you guys get classy based. Sign up for the book club. Go to paradiseandvibe.com. Come to Tulum with me in October. We would appreciate it.
Yes, and make sure you're following us on Instagram. We're at CockTales Podcast. I'm at Kiki Said So.
I'm a Coffee Bean Dean.
And until next week, you guys,
Goodbye.
goodbye.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Population.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye.
Wait on the track.
Bye. 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 Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Population.
Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Wait on the track.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye. Bye. 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 Bye.
Population.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye.
Wait on the track.
Bye. 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 Bye.